Today I'm going to share with you something that previously I've only been sharing with my paid coaching clients, but we've been having a lot of success with it recently, and so I wanted to share it with you as well. So, in fact, I've been doing this with an attorney recently. He's on track for like $4 million a year, and so obviously highly successful, very talented attorney. We were talking about one of his associates and one of his paralegals, and they weren't meeting their goals. And it was really interesting as we broke this down, and as I was going through this content with him, he realized that he was doing this for himself, but that he hadn't necessarily taught his team. So not only is this something you can use yourself, but it's something that's really helpful in teaching your team so that they can achieve their goals, which obviously achieves the company goals as a whole. So in order to achieve your goals, first you need to know what your goals are. And your goal needs to be something that excites you. So this needs to be some big goal. This is something that probably can't be achieved in 12 weeks or a year or even 3 years. It's something that is exciting. Maybe it's having a six-pack or having $10 million or being able to run a marathon, something big, right? You need to start with something that's going to be exciting, or you're not going to do the necessary steps in order to achieve that goal. Once you have an exciting goal, the next thing is to break it down into something that's achievable over the next 12 weeks. So one of the things we run into issues is we get this huge goal of having $10 million, and we're like, okay, how am I possibly going to do that? I'm not even making $200,000 a year or something, right? And it becomes impossible, and therefore we don't do it. But if we say, okay, currently we're making $200,000, we want to get to $10 million. What's a step from there? Maybe instead of going from $200,000, we go to $400,000 or $500,000 or $300,000. It doesn't really matter, but you're going to push yourself a little bit, something that makes that goal a little bit more achievable. Once you know how much you need to do each week, then you need to decide what are the action items you need to take so that you can achieve that goal. So again, if you say it's $20,000 a week and you have an average case value of $5,000, then you need 4 clients. Once you know how many clients you need, then you just need to identify what action steps you need to take to get those clients. This is where you need to know your numbers. You need to be able to break this down into what's your closing rate, what's your show up rate, how many of your leads are qualified, and then backwards how many total leads you need in order to hit your goal. For example, a lot of my clients are working on trying to achieve a $10,000 week. This is often achievable with just one attorney and one paralegal or one support staff. It's kind of the foundation that I teach in a lot of my programs. If that's your goal, then for most people what they need is about 4 hours a day of billing, like doing like billable work on work that you know you're going to get paid for you and your support staff. Put in the comments below that exciting goal that you're working on right now. But at the end of the day, no matter what your goal is, you just need to plan it out. So first, you need to know what your goal is. Second, you need to create a plan. What I've found to be the most successful is if every Monday morning or Friday the week before, but every Monday you spend about 30 minutes planning out your week. Specifically, I want you to identify the action items that you're going to do that week to hit your goal, and I want you to put in your calendar the things that you're going to do to hit your goal. On Friday, then I'm going to have you review that week. I want you to review and say, 1, did your plan work? Did the things that you identified, did those things produce the results that you were looking for? This is kind of a 2-part test, right? 1 is, did you do the things? If you didn't do the things, I want you to ask yourself why. What stopped you? Was it a poor planning, or did you actually not want your goal, and so you didn't do the things necessary because you'd rather do something else? Or was it because you did the things that were on your plan and those things just didn't produce the results? Either way, that's fine. You've learned something, right? You either learned that you didn't want what you said you wanted and you can tweak your goal, or you learned that your plan didn't work. Maybe you needed twice as many reach outs or twice as many something else to hit your goal. Either way, that's fine. The more you do this, the more you pay attention, the quicker you're going to learn what it actually takes to achieve your goal. I'm not expecting you to get this right the first time. Almost no one does. The most important part, though, is just creating the plan, executing the plan, and testing it. I have found the best way to do this, and the easiest way for me to do it, is if at the beginning of each day, for about 3 to 5 minutes, I meet with my team and we discuss what the priorities are for the day. So we look at our calendar, we see what we've planned, and then we also ask if there's anything else that's coming up. Is there a deadline coming up? Is there something that has to be done in order to achieve our goal? During that meeting, we'll then identify 1 to 3 priorities for the day. Generally, how I do this with my law firm clients is like the lawyer and the paralegal, they usually are a team. And so whenever the lawyer comes to work, my paralegals are often here before the attorneys. My attorneys like to stay late, where my paralegals like to come early. So they usually come here. The paralegals have a chance to prepare for the day. They have an idea of what they think the priorities are based off of our plans and our goals. But the attorney comes in, and right when they come in, like without even sitting down, like I like to do this quick stand-up meeting, because if we sit down, it takes too long. But the attorney and the paralegal, they talk about it. They say, okay, what are the priorities for the day? Once they've come up with those priorities, the paralegal sends that priority list to the attorney. You can do that by email, you can do internal message, whatever system you're using, just they have to use it, right? So the paralegal sends the attorney the priority list, and the attorney then starts acting off of that priority list. Then at the end of the day, the attorney sends a message back to the paralegal confirming what did and did not get done. And then they use that list the next day to create the priority list for the following. One of the key things here is, let's say they have a 4-part list and the attorney does items 1, 2, and 4. One of the things they're going to do is they're going to discuss, why did they skip number 3? Did something come up over the day that changed the priority list? Or was the attorney not executing the priorities in the correct format, right? This really helps people stay accountable, and you'll notice that really quickly people will identify the right priorities, and they'll follow through, and they'll actually do the things that are going to make the biggest impact. One of the things I found helpful when creating that priority list is identifying what really is the highest priority. For us, the very first thing are the income producing activities for the day, right? If you have a plan on hitting a certain income goal for the week, then you need to know what action items you're going to do each day to hit that goal, and those are the income producing tasks. So the first thing we discuss are what income producing activities we're going to do for the day. The second thing we're going to discuss are what cases are done, right? Maybe they've reached a settlement, they've already had their trial, they've already concluded, and we just need to kick them across the finish line. This is where cases can kind of stall, and we want to focus and we want to prioritize those cases to get them across the finish line, because that's where our clients also get the most frustrated. They're antsy to be done, and so if we can get them done quickly, then they're going to be a lot happier. They're going to leave us Google reviews, they're going to leave us referrals, they're going to be repeat clients. And so other than the income producing activities, this is the next most important thing for us. Then the last on the list is we go through the cases of like which cases don't have money in trust or don't have payment plans, right? We go through the cases that are not producing income. Either we can work on the case but there's not paying for it, which is not income producing, or they don't have their payment plan or something set up, and we go through those cases and we identify what to do next. Generally speaking, unless there's a deadline, we're going to go in and we're going to send the client a letter saying that we can't work on their case and they need to bring it current, or we're going to have to withdraw. But that's kind of the last thing. So in summary, when we're creating our priority list, we prioritize first the income producing activities, second the cases that need to be kicked across the finish line and finished, and then third, we talk about the cases that are consuming our time but aren't producing income. Then, like I said, the only thing left is to execute, right? You just need to do the things you've planned, and you need to pay a lot of attention. I call this the 3 R's: review, revise, repeat. So after each day, after each week, you review. Did you do what you said you were going to do? If not, why? If yes, did it produce the results you were looking for? If it did produce the results you were looking for, you repeat it. Hopefully you can create systems or delegate. You can do those types of things to repeat it more easily, but at the end of the day, you repeat it. If it doesn't produce the results you're looking for, then you revise it. Is it because you didn't have a good enough rate? Like maybe your closing rate's 30%. Okay, that's something we need to fix, right? But maybe your closing rate's 90%. Then we're not going to work on sales. That's only going to produce an incremental change. Maybe we just need more leads at that point, right? But once you have your numbers, once you know your goal and you have your numbers, and you're reviewing, revising, and repeating, you'll know what lever to pull next so that you can make the biggest results in your firm. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and I'll give you more of these videos each week.